This is the real reason why the St. Louis Blues sent down Otto Stenberg to the AHL.
Hey, this is Brain Chen. Subscribe to Locked On Blues.
You're Locked On Blues, your daily podcast on the St. Louis Blues. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And welcome back to Locked On Blues. I am your host, Haley Taylor Simon, talking to you all things about our team that only gained 1 point out of 4 over the weekend. On today's episode, I am going to talk to you about the real reason why the Blues sent Otto Stenberg down to the AHL. We got 1 point this weekend. 1 point. But you know what? I'll take it. And my friends, it is finally time to listen to the facts. The facts are what is going to save us for the rest of the season. Because if we listen to our hearts right now, we're only going to get hurt. And I think you have a pretty good idea where I'm going with this one. But let's dive into things. First off, happy Monday, January 26th. Oh, it's 1/26/26. That's fun. I hope first and foremost that everybody has stayed safe from the snowstorm. I am doing a lot of shoveling, so I have a little bit of not like a cold, but I'm definitely feeling a little bit groggy, so please do not mind if my voice sounds a little nasally. But today, Otto Stenberg got sent down to the Thunderbirds. And I know what your first thought is. Hale, Otto was playing pretty well. Why would the Blues do this? Well, it makes sense. As the date, January 26th, isn't too far away from the Winter Olympics and the break. And this will give Otto an opportunity to play throughout the Winter Olympic break. I think that a lot of people read a little bit too much into it and they went into panic mode. Otto Stenberg got sent down. What are the Blues doing? Okay. But let's think about this logically. Otto is a young player, right? He's only 20 years old. And this season, he has played in 18 games with 1 goal and 7 assists. He's also +4, which is really good to see. With all things considering this weekend, he was also able to gain a point against the Kings. So we like Otto. But him getting sent down isn't a negative. And I feel like this is something that we need to just remember, that being sent down is a positive when it comes to the overall development of players. I think that it's really easy for all of us as fans to kind of go into panic mode, right? Because we see a title, a headline like Stenberg gets sent down that the Blues put out, and immediately our mind goes to, oh no, what is happening? But what I will say is this, though. If he played, and the reason why I mentioned the dates, and this is an NHL like technicality rule, if he played more games with the Blues, he wouldn't be able to go to Springfield during the break. So that is why. So that is why he got sent down now. We saw this too before with Zach Bolduc, who got sent down. I believe, was it last season? It was at some point during the All-Star break, and he got sent down so he could have more time just working on his game. And I think that this is something that's really beneficial. I know that there's a lot of really odd rules, because if he played one more NHL game, he wouldn't be AHL available. So that is that. It goes into the technicalities, and again, I think it's kind of stupid, but again, it is what it is. When the Olympic break is over, I do suspect Otto to come back right up again. And that's what we saw of Zach Bolduc, that when he got sent down during the break, he actually did really well, and he was able to work on a lot of things, which in my opinion is what made him such a valuable player, and especially in that back half of the season. So with Otto, I'm hoping the same thing. And again, think about the head coach now with the T-Birds. Oh yeah, it's Steve Ott. So This is somebody that Otto's been very familiar with, and Steve as well. And I think it's only going to be beneficial, right? It's really weird because at the end of the day, right, we sometimes look at players getting sent down as a negative, and I think for the most case scenario, it is a negative. Like, let's go say it. I know this would not happen, but in a very hypothetical way, Joel Hofer gets sent down. I know that's not but let's go say hypothetically. We would all say, yeah, maybe it's because he's not playing well, and we would all go into panic mode, right? I think for us, when we hear sent down, our first thought is, oh no, but this is a good thing. And I like Otto a lot. I think he's actually fit in really well to the Blues' system. And again, he still has things that he needs to work on, but he has been a key player on this team, and he's held up his end of the deal. I think for a lot of these players that end up not going to Milan for the Olympics, they need to take the break, right? Spend time with family, whatever, but they need to just continue to work hard. I think that this is a team where I'm more focused on the development of the younger players rather than some of the veterans. So for the young guys, this is a really cool opportunity. I know some of them are going to be in the Olympics, but I think for those who are not, this is a time to truly work on their individual game because, again, the trade deadline is approaching. And I know I have been talking about this a lot, but I do believe the Blues are going to sell. And that will give the younger players perfect opportunities to showcase their talents as to why the Blues should build around them. Because I talked about this in an episode before, and I mentioned about Stenberg, Dvorsky, Snuggerud. You know, that's our future core, right? With all these young, talented players. And for Stenberg, having an opportunity to continue playing the game, continue to learn from such great hockey minds, gives me a lot of hope. Because this is a player that deserved to be called up. So I was very happy about that. But also is a player that is willing to put in the hard work, and that's going to translate onto the ice when he comes back after the Olympics. The Blues are not focused on winning, okay? They're not. But they are focused on the development of their young players, and we've seen that time and time and time again. I mean, I want to say that last year was a perfect example of Zach Bolduc, but it wasn't because they ended up trading him. But I think just the whole premise of making sure that your young guys are getting all the development possible is what makes the Blues system so successful. We're really able to develop a lot of players. And not a lot of teams, by the way, have that same success. I feel like that's not as common as people think. So, going back to my main point about Stenberg being sent down, this to me is a positive. This should be nothing but a positive to you as well. And for Otto, this is going to be such a cool opportunity because I can only imagine the amount of fans that are going to go to T-Birds games to see him because of how well he's been performing on the Blues. I mean, he's really made a name for himself. And I want his brother too, Ivor Stenberg. But again, hashtag tank for McKenna. And we'll talk a little bit about that in the last segment. But the Blues did play 2 games this weekend, and they had an opportunity for 4 points, and they got 1 point, which for the Blues is actually pretty good. So we will talk about that right after this. Let's be real, managing your finances can feel overwhelming. Between subscriptions you forgot about, bills that keep going up, and trying to figure out where all your money actually goes each month, It's easy to feel like you're losing control. And who has time to track every transaction or hunt down hidden fees? That's where Rocket Money comes in. The personal finance app that helps you take control. It finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. I was shocked when Rocket Money showed me I was paying for all these streaming subscriptions that I truly forgot about and haven't used. So it's already saved me money, and it does add up. So it is a lot of money. Let Rocket Money help you reach your financial goals faster. Join at rocketmoney.com/locked on. That's rocketmoney.com/locked on. Rocketmoney.com/locked on. I want to tell you something really cool that we're doing as a network, and it is called the Everydayer Club. You might be wondering, Haley, what is the Everydayer Club? Luckily, I will tell you because only for $5 a month, you get to listen to Locked On Blues without ads. That's right, ad-free episodes of Locked On Blues. On top of that, you are automatically invited to an exclusive Discord where you can talk with fans from all over about all the sports possible. So it is allowing you to join a community that is better than X or any other sort of platform where, things get lost, whatever. This Discord, it's perfect. I love it. So I hope to see you there. So the link will be down below. Again, only $5 a month. And besides, listening to Locked On Blues and watching Locked On Blues without ads, that's a win. We had 1 point this weekend. And I'm clapping because you know what? That's one more point than I thought we would get over the weekend because our hockey team can't win a game. That was my song that I just came up with for the Blues called The Blues Can't Win a Game because it's so true. I don't know when we're going to be winning again, but let's just get into what happened this weekend. So we played the Dallas Stars, and you know what happened? We had a Dvorsky goal and a Bushi goal. You know what I have to say, though? Dalibor Dvorsky, a power play goal. It was a beauty. A beauty, and I was happy to see Bushi score again. Ironically, Dvorsky scored 8 goals while Bushi scored 9 goals. So again, Bushi, you got to step it up. Not going to commemorate him too much. Okay, woo, here we go. Wyatt Johnston scored a power play goal. Then guess what? The Stars got another power play goal, and I believe that it was Jason Robertson who scored the game-winning goal. We had some issues during the game because we were shooting the puck, which I give them a lot of credit for. It just wasn't good enough, and it wasn't going in. Also, you might be wondering, Hale, who was in net for the Blues? It was Jordan Binnington. Yep. Another loss for Binnington. I mean, this has been such a bad season for him. He has honestly just been kind of going through it this season. He has an .868 save percentage, 57th in the league, allowing over 3.5 goals per game. It's not good. It's really not good. His record, by the way, it's 8-14-6, which is 45th in the league. Not good for the Ontario native and not good for all of us because I am telling you, we are truly rooting for Binnington, especially with the Olympics approaching. But right now, it's just not looking so good. And then I want to do a little comparison to Joel Hofer. That was funny, right? Well, okay. So he has lost his last 2. Spoiler alert, the Blues lost against the Kings, and we'll get into that. But again, we'll get into that. But I mean, this season, the thing is, he has a .902 save percentage, and he's tied for 25th. So that's good. He's also tied for second for shootout wins. I mean, shutout wins, shutouts, not shootouts. Definitely not shootouts. So we have that going for him. I know. I was like, shutout. I'm like, no. It was shutouts, not shootouts. Could you imagine? Yeah, things would be a lot different. All right, but let's get into the Kings game because that gave me some promise, followed by heartbreak. Well, in the first period, the Kings score. It was Taylor Ward. And you know what? I thought to myself, Hale, this is a legit conversation. Hale, there's plenty of hockey left. At least the opposing team didn't score multiple goals. That was literally my first thought, right? So then the second period comes around. I have that thought. And you know what happens? Like a minute in, the Kings score again. So it's a 2-0 Kings lead. And now I'm thinking to myself, oh no, this is really bad. Luckily, Dvorsky, my guy, Dvorsky. I love Dvorsky. We know I love Dvorsky. He scores off of a great feed from Otto Stenberg, by the way. Stenberg's 7th assist of the season, and Dvorsky is now 9th goal. So, again, what's good, Bushi? Anyways, cuts the lead in half, 2-1. Kings still lead, and that came about like a minute after the Kings goal. So it was like boom, boom. I was like, oh, what's going on? Captain Braden Shen scored his 10th goal of the season a few minutes after that on the Blues power play. Dun, dun. Okay, no, we're not going to dance because it wasn't a home game. No, it was a home game. Wait, now I'm like, hold on. Haley's confused herself. Wait. It's been a long couple of days. No, it was the home game. Dallas was away. Idiot. So, Blues power play. Dun 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 dun. Shen scores. Woo! All right. So Shenner scores. Blues power play. Then, less than 2 minutes later, Jordan Kyrou scores. And an assist, by the way, from Logan Mailloux and Cam Fowler. Mailloux's second assist of the season, Fowler's 17th. We have then followed by the Blues taking a 3-2 lead, the Kings tying it up. And I forgot that Corey Perry was on the Kings. He didn't score, but he gave the assist. Finally, in the third frame with the tied 3-3 game, the Kings decide, hey, let's take the lead back. Well, guess what? Guess who said, you know what? Not so fast. Jordan Kyrou, Roozy. And it was tied 4-4 heading to OT. Guess what happened in OT? Nothing. I mean, Joel Hofer made some great saves, but nothing happened in OT. So let's talk about this shootout. What happened in the shootout, you might ask, eh? Well, Adrian Kempe made it in. Neighbors, guess what? It was saved. And then the following one, Clark, it was saved by Hofs. Roozy's shot was saved. And then the Kings missed. And then Dvorsky got a backhander. It was such a beaut. And then Trevor Moore goes in. And then it's up to Snuggerud, and it was saved by Darcy. So guess who won? It was the Kings. But you know what? I'll give the Blues some credit, honestly, because first off, they scored a good amount of goals, 4 goals, which is really good for the Blues. And you know what? They made it to the shootout. So, I mean, if you're going to lose and you are going to gain that point, which doesn't help with the draft, but if you're going to gain that point, I kind of like that they went to the shootout and Joel Hofer had a lot of good saves. So, overall, I'll take that as a win. But guess what we have tomorrow night? Oh, no. Well, tomorrow night, we're hosting Dallas. Oh, no. Yeah, I know. Just another L. Just another L. And in case you're wondering, by the way, how we're doing when it comes to the standings, because I know that a lot of you are kind of like, I don't want this team to win. Well, luckily for you, the Blues are still the 31st worst team in the NHL. And the Canucks are behind us because they have 39 points. We have 47 points. So, yeah, when I'm telling you, I don't know how it got this bad. I truly cannot tell you. All right, coming up, I'm going to talk to you, my friends, about how it's finally time to hear the truth. But first, I want to talk to you about my friends at, well, you'll see on the other side. If you've ever hired someone who looks good on paper, but they weren't the right fit, you know how important that is. When you want candidates who truly match what you're looking for, trust Indeed sponsored jobs. Hiring Indeed, it's all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored jobs puts your post at the top of the page, and it helps you reach the right candidates faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posts directly on Indeed are 90% more likely to report a hire than non sponsored jobs. Spend more time interviewing candidates who check all of your boxes with less stress, less time, and more results using Indeed sponsored jobs. Listeners of the podcast get a $75 sponsored job credit to help give your job the premium placement it deserves at Indeed.com/locked on. Just go to Indeed.com/locked on right now and support the show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring, do it the right way with Indeed. It is about time you all listen to me, because I have been telling you for weeks on end, for months on end, tanking is the right move. But I don't want to give up. Whoa. Was I telling you to give up? Because last time I checked, you were not on the ice. I am so sick of having this mindset of, well, maybe the Blues will turn it around. No, they won't. They won't. They're not going to turn it around. This isn't a magic show. It's not bippity boppity boo. The Blues will all of a sudden play better. No, this is bippity boppity. Oh, this is the team that can't find ways to win games, that has been struggling all season. You know, the difference between this team and the team that won the Stanley Cup, it's very simple. That team had heart. That team played with passion. That team played with physicality. And you never question that. While they were not a good team, and I remember being very, very frustrated time and time and time again, I knew one thing about that team, and it was how hard they played. Can I say the same about this team? No, I can't. And I'm not going to. Maybe the younger guys, absolutely. But some of the older players, no, I've been disappointed. And to tell you the truth, I don't know how you're not more upset. You see, tanking isn't the solution. It helps with the problem, but it's not the solution. The solution is to get rid of guys and to make trades and to make moves and to sign free agents this offseason. Part of the solution is building a culture where you're going to play your hardest hockey possible, even when you're down bad. I want to see that fight. And I see that fight a lot when Joel Hofer's in net. Not so much when Binnington's in net, which I find very weird. But again, I don't think it's a Binnington issue. I just think that this team doesn't have the stamina to have enough fight in them for all the back and forth and whatever games. I am frustrated I'm annoyed, but I'm telling you the facts. And the facts are this is a team that doesn't have it. They don't have it. I'm sorry, they don't have it. And I've been telling you this time and time and time again. And then I get comments. You just got to believe. Believe in what? Believe in what exactly? And I'm not trying to be sarcastic or rude, but seriously, what do you want me to believe in? I believe the statistics. I believe the lack of wins. This is a team that struggles so much on the power play and penalty kill. They struggle even strength. They struggle in every way possible. There's not one thing that this team does where I can say, wow, they're really good in this. No, I can't. I could say something positive like I love their sweaters at home. That's all I have. The aways are okay too. But that's not the point. This is the point. This is the truth. And everyone is saying it. I'm saying it, and you're going to be saying it. This team will not find any success maintaining the same players that they have now and running it back next season. They won't. They simply won't. You need to change this team. Trades, selling, signing free agents, preferably ones that actually have NHL experience that can play defense. Either side at this point, like I would be fine with. I'm not so picky. But we need to collectively as a fan base just come to terms that the draft isn't going to fix everything, but it's going to help with our future, which we so desperately need. Rant over. Listen, I'm frustrated watching Blues hockey. All right, my friends. Tomorrow we will preview Dallas. Maybe I'll try to do a little bit of a collab with Joey from Locked On Stars. We'll see. I don't know how the storm is in Dallas, but I can tell you this. The Blues, I don't know. I was going to make a joke, and then I'm like, there really isn't anything that I could joke about to make us sound competitive. So, not going to do that. All right. Make sure again to sign up for that Everydayer Club. You get no ads while listening or watching Locked On Blues. Also, that really core Discord I told you about. So the link will be down below. And I know you're frustrated about the Blues. So am I. So leave me your thoughts in the comments section about what you think about Stenberg being sent down, how the Blues played this weekend, and if you think there's any possibility that we could beat Dallas tomorrow. They always play well against the Stars. I just don't know if they can get the job done. All right, I will talk to you tomorrow. And like always, let's go Blues.